Alright, hey Dr. Hammer. This is our second movie review for the midterm. It is titled
Scared to change.
Yeah. In general, the movie was about a man who obviously had trouble communicating because he had such a bad stutter, and he literally would pretend that he was deaf because like it was just easier than trying to communicate with people. And he has an online relationship with this woman who randomly decides to come where he lives, or like for some reason is
in the area.
And he has to like decide, oh my god, like she doesn't know he's deaf, like what do I do, like, and that's like the whole main like dilemma of the story. Yeah.
And then they end up meeting.
Yep. And she's deaf. Aw, so cute.
She.
So cute.
But yeah.
All right.
So we thought the resolution was very heteronormative. So yes, it fulfilled our happy ending, but we didn't really find it effective because we all saw it coming, which we'll kind of mention later when we talk about the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But we like obviously saw it coming, but I don't know. It kind of talks about like specifics of the social commentary, which like again we'll kind of bring up later. But just to like preface it, we kind of thought it was like because he like doesn't do anything for his situation, he clearly has to end up with someone who also has something wrong with communication.
Mm-hmm.
So we just thought like we knew he was like we were assuming she was also going to have a stutter, but she ended up being deaf.
Yeah. So it was a little bit like we could kind of see that coming, but
yeah.
All right. So obviously the protagonist we thought was the guy that had the stutter. Throughout the whole movie, it's like he's the person that you're following. Everyone's rooting for him to like kind of just like, it's almost kind of painful. Like he's stuttering like so badly, and you're just kind of like trying to finish the word for him. And so like a lot of it is just following around like to try and get him like past that. The antagonist then is himself and society, because society is very like not they don't give them like the resources he needs. They're very impatient with him. And like they don't really understand or like are aware of his disability, which is kind of worse than just like being blatantly rude. And then again for himself, like he doesn't take it upon himself to go out and try and interact with people that much. He doesn't really like, he tries to do the taxes and then he hangs up and like just doesn't do them. He doesn't go to therapy, and so like it's kind of like against himself, like where it's like a mental thing holding him back.
But we felt like it was like decent, but they probably could have gone deeper into the society when we felt like we understood the himself one way more than society.
Yeah, because he overcomes himself in the end, and like finally he's like, what am I doing? Like I have to go meet this girl, but like there's no like clear like overcoming of the struggle with society. Yeah, there's no like clear like resolution for that.
Yeah. For the like climax, we kind of thought it was like when they actually go to meet him, we're like unsure like if she's going to accept him or not. But again, it kind of just goes back to the resolution where we're expecting a happy ending. It wasn't like one of the other clips where we're like, wait, what was that ending? Because like we're like annoyed with the ending, but we were happy with it, but we also knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, like from the bat, we were like, okay, this girl's like she's gonna have a stutter or something.
Also, I think it goes back to like, if they are gonna work out, then she can't be that cute. Like she can be cute, but she can't be like hot.
Yeah.
And if she's there, she has to be kind of dorky as well, and he has to be dorky.
Which is like very demeaning. That's why we thought like, this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but like felt it was kind of demeaning that he had to end up with someone else that also had a disability. Like he couldn't be with like a normal, typical person.
I think that also just goes to the fact that like him against himself. Like if he would have put in the effort to go to speech therapy, fix his stutter, then perhaps when he meets this girl, maybe she would have been cuter.
Yeah. We found two main allusions or references in the film, for Facebook and online dating in general, in like modern day society, and then also catfishing. So obviously
you might have to explain it.
Yeah, I'll explain catfishing. But Facebook obviously is there throughout the entire thing. It's like the main way that they have like an online relationship for 6 months. So that just kind of about like modern dating and like how it's like really easy to like change who you are online, and like you don't really need to socialize with people.
Also, I feel like it also just kind of projects like him being kind of like a loser, because like
Who goes on Facebook anymore?
Exactly. Like, it's more of an older person thing. If he
yeah.
would have been in with the times, it would have been like Tinder. Or...
Especially because he is like doing online dating, and that is something that our generation does. It shows that he's like not really in with our generation.
Yeah, because no
much.
one does Facebook.
Yeah, and then with the catfishing thing though, so like it's like referencing catfishing in that he doesn't tell her that he has a stutter, but like likewise she doesn't tell him that she's deaf.
Although at the end we don't really 100% know that, because why? Like, we assume that he learns the sign language for communication to act normal, but maybe perhaps he did it because he knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
First, foreshadowing, that kind of like goes into what I just said. Like, he learned sign language in the beginning to help his communication with others, so that he didn't have to like struggle communicating that he has stutter with people that he didn't know. So we just kind of talked about like that was foreshadowing that this lady that he would meet would be deaf, because that it correlates well. But we thought it was done pretty well, because neither of us really saw that she was going to be deaf until afterwards. Now, I mean, had we watched it a second time and a third, we can probably figure it out now. But the first time watching it, we didn't automatically assume that.
For a thread, we didn't think the thread was as well executed as some of the other film terms, because for one, we couldn't really like find a distinct thread. I like loosely argued that the books were maybe a thread, and I was thinking that because he does have such a hard time like socially interacting with people, and they're literally all throughout the movie, like the thing that he goes to get like the girl as a gift when he goes to meet her, he goes to a bookstore. When he's with his dad, there's bookcase in the background, like he works for some sort of newspaper or whatever, like doing something where he's writing books. And so I just like connected that with like how he puts all of his time and like energy and creativity into reading and writing, because he can't communicate otherwise.
Which also might just be like a detriment on himself, like that fact that like he is still kind of a loser in the fact that he's not putting effort into externalizing his thoughts. But I feel like the social commentary out of everything was probably the best on this one, just like out of all the other terms we've mentioned, just because we thought it was kind of talking mostly about the disabilities and how people with disabilities or social problems tend to kind of like lack the resources that other people would need. So like, for instance, when he was trying to call in the beginning to like the tax person or whatever, like he was unable to communicate because he had no resource to do so.
Yeah.
But again, that kind of lacks to like the him versus himself thing. But also like at the end, we kind of mentioned this earlier, but I think it's just like social commentary that because he hasn't tried to change himself, there's no way he can end up with someone like with anything but some other problem.
Yeah.
So of course he ends up with a girl who's a deaf. So they just happen to like both work, because neither of them really understand the other's like problems.
Did you get to talk about all this?
I think so. Oh, I didn't talk about the technology. You want to talk about
social commentary on technology real quick, that it was just like an excuse to not be so socially like interactive, which is a thing that's more like our generation with like the whole online dating thing especially.
Yeah, so like people would like, they talked on Facebook for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, happy 6
I've
months.
never met each other.
We're like, okay.
That's still a little weird. Like I would never, even with like the online dating stuff that we have today, I would never do that.
No, I feel
personally.
like
that's like a weird thing to do.
That's just showing again like him like not as with it with the times, because if people talk like now like on Tinder, it's maybe like a week before they meet or whatever. Never 6 months.
And that also kind of like foreshadowed though that she'd be kind of like similar to him and different, because like she's also doing it like So we did a little bit of research for film reviews, and we saw a lot of people who were agreeing that there's a lack of like character arc. He doesn't really do much to like enough to help with his stutter, especially for how like crippling it is for him to like be socially active. Like he literally doesn't even leave his room, and only has a friend of his dad. Yeah, and that the ending was just so cliche. Like obviously we agreed with that. Like that was the first thing that we called that out so quickly in the beginning of the movie.
Although, like, one of the research, like, articles that we saw said that the internalized thoughts of him were supposed to, like, help project and, like, humanize him to make him act like a normal individual. Yeah. But then it kind of just shows, like, persons that, like, are only internally communicating, obviously, like, aren't fully there.
Yeah, and then there was also like a lot of reviews about how they use like the internal thoughts to like not just like to make you pity him, but to also like humanize him, because there's all these things that he can't say, and like other people are so mean to him.
And
But like
we kind of disagree with that because again,
yeah.
we just feel like he didn't put enough effort into
Yeah.
it. Like clearly, yes, it is like unfortunate, but if it was that like detrimental to him and his health and his life, then why didn't he go to speech therapy? Maybe there's just a lack of character development and understanding why he doesn't do that. But overall, we said 3 out of 5 stars again, just like our other one, because we really like the social commentary, but it wasn't very overt about like disabilities. But the resolution was super cliche and heteronormative, and I don't know, hard time finding a
I felt like
thread.
I thought that maybe the social commentary execution could have been done a little better, because I think that they were trying to be very like positive and empowering towards disabilities, but it came off a little more like demeaning to, like, in my opinion, like the way that they like it all just goes back to that ending where they have like she had to be deaf for it all to like make sense and for everything to click together. Like I thought that was very.
I feel like the ending would have been better if she had like a broken leg
Yeah.
or like something like where it wasn't a physical like detriment, or
maybe like if her sister was deaf or something.
Or like, something like that where
she knew sign language but she
wasn't
deaf.
just her.
Yeah.
But that was that.
Yeah, and then besides that, just like finding the thread, like we didn't really.
Yeah,
we had a really hard time with that.
Yeah, but
and then the arc.
Oh yeah, I think
his
his arc maybe was the fact that he like got out and actually met this girl, but it just, I think had he realized that she didn't have some disability, he would have been like, oh shit, and then would have left.
It's also hard to like kind of look at that arc because we don't know his like past, like if he has done therapy before and it just like didn't work and he's really tried. Like we don't really know how much effort he put into previously. We only know what we're given,
so like
which is that he's not putting effort in.
Yeah, so it just looks like he's started as
lazy.
a loser.
Yeah, and ends
now
like a loser.
Still a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.